have invested a lot of time in Travis Hunter in terms of putting him on offense primarily first to start him out, just to get him to learn that wide receiver role. So where is he taking the most strides at that position, and how confident are you guys going into week 1 with him?
I think for any rookie, usually the most strides is going to be mentally learning a new system, whether it's coming from a spread system in college or a pro system in college. There's a lot to learn. So probably I should say that for rookies or a new player, a free agent signing, those strides are always going to be biggest mentally. It's tough for a guy to show what he can do and show all his physical capabilities when he's still trying to think about where am I lining up, what am I doing, what's my job. So just his ability to go out there and line up and play fast, I think shows with his technique and some of the different things you see as a receiver.
Have you been surprised, maybe since he is a rookie, that he's been able to catch on quickly? I saw in the hunt you were telling him, you already know this play and we haven't even installed it. Is that something that's unique that you see from him?
I think it's certainly a testament to his work ethic, his commitment to putting in extra time and effort, wanting to meet with coaches extra, do those little one-offs that you guys see and talk about on special teams, and being so eager to learn and improve. I think, like I said, it's a real testament to his growth mindset, all the work and focus that he puts in.
How much is there, I guess, the difference between the practice field and the game field for a guy like Trevor? You've seen him practice the offense, you've done it in the classroom, but now you got to go out there and do it in the game.
It's certainly different, and it's always going to be different just because of the pace of the games. You have the adrenaline going, guys are moving a little bit faster, where in practice if they're going 98%, they're going 100% in the game. So there's always a little difference in the speed, and sometimes that can be hard to adjust depending on the guy to throw to a receiver going full speed, or throw against defensive backs breaking on balls full speed. And then you add the element of now you can get hit, where we're protecting guys in practice a little bit, controlling some of the variables, and trying to get certain looks or certain things manufactured. So there's more unknowns mentally, and then the added aspect of the physicality of it. Now it's real live flying bullets around you. So it's always a little bit different, but we try to get it as close to a game-like situation as possible in practice.
Liam said him and James have been fans of Tim Patrick for a long time. Just being around him for a few weeks now, what are your thoughts on him?
He's been awesome to have here. Really, his diligence and his conscientious work ethic. From learning the playbook, we're out there at practice trying to take every rep, being a real pro about going about his business. And I've talked about it for a couple of guys, how hard it is to kind of come in and learn the system on your own. You're behind. Everyone else got the install from the ground up. So they got to learn the system being put in from scratch and learn all the rules, all the whys, the ins and outs of why things are structured the way they're structured. So it's kind of like learning a language without learning the first words or the alphabet first. So it's been awesome to see him go in there and be able to do it and try to do some of that stuff on his own. And really the guy, he's been with the guys or with the coaches and just embracing whatever we've asked him to do has been a lot of fun.
It's a young receiver room. Is there value in those guys just watching him, seeing how he goes about his work, practice habits, all that?
Absolutely. I think all of us, whether it's players or coaches, are all trying to learn from each other. So it's great to have a guy like that around that young receiver room. And I think all in all, those guys have all been a positive influence on each other, with each guy pushing each other to be better and better. It's not just the young guys versus the old guys, it's the young guys pushing the old guys as well to practice hard and try to outdo them, and then the old guys trying to outdo the young guys. So it's a great room of guys all pushing each other and learning from each other.
How do you feel about how the offensive lines come together?
I feel good about it. I like those guys. Like we've talked about, the depth of that room has been awesome to see. We have the flexibility of guys being able to play different positions, inside, outside, left, and right, which is nice to have. Different guys can snap, different guys can play guard, play tackle. And then they've done a great job of kind of coming together and learning to work together, which is always a big thing in the offensive line. Because as much as there's one-on-ones at times, a lot of it is dependent on the communication. How are you setting? How are you blocking? What call are you making here? So there's so much communication with those guys where even though it looks like a one-on-one or it ends up being a one-on-one at the end of the play, so much of that is dictated by what they did pre-snap or what they did with their footwork to create that one-on-one, or what's the call, what's the combination. So it's been fun to see those guys come closer together as a unit.
Just how important has Hainsey been to that? I mean, that voice, the leadership that he brings.
It's been awesome. Not just for that unit, I would say really for the whole offense. He's been an absolute joy to be around with his work ethic, his approach, his mentality, all those things that Coach Cohen talks about with the culture that we're trying to build here. He really embraces that and is kind of carrying the flag for that for us in the offensive O-line room and the offensive unit room, really pushing us, players, coaches, everyone included, to kind of embody that every day.
Calling plays in Miami, just what was that experience like for you?
It was good. It was a good experience, a worthwhile experience. Obviously would love a better result in it, but I appreciate the guys and their work ethic. Going out there in a challenging situation where some guys who really didn't get a lot of reps in training camp, probably had not run some of those plays before full speed, and then going out there and doing it against the one defense in Miami. I love the way those guys competed and really appreciate the work they put in to prepare when they didn't have opportunities in practice. They didn't have opportunities in joint practice to go out there and play full speed, or even play together. I mean, you're going out there with the center who basically got there the day before the trip, and those guys didn't complain about it once. So I loved the way they attacked it and really appreciate the way they played, the style they played.
As an assistant with Liam, what does it mean just that he wants you guys to do new things and to grow?
I think it's great. I think that kind of is almost intoxicating. It's contagious throughout the entire culture for the players and coaches, that we want to try to find edges and push the boundaries and find the best way possible to do things. So whether it's plays, or whether it's the way we're meeting, whether it's the way we're walking through, whatever it may be, it's awesome to have that opportunity to really try to push yourself and be open to finding what's best for the team.
When you look at the Panthers defense, Ajero Evero, he's been there a couple years now. Do y'all lean on what Liam was able to do last year in Tampa, coaching it against that team, and what type of challenges do they present?
I think you try to incorporate a little bit of everything. It starts with kind of that understanding of who we are and what we want to do, which might be a little bit different than what was in Tampa Bay or what any of us were in previous stops. But there are certainly principles of the offense that will carry over no matter where you're at or who's out there, which starting 11 or which personnel is out there. So there are certainly principles to that. In terms of the challenges that they pose, we don't know exactly what they're going to be, and they could have changed things, but the structure overall will be probably fairly similar. So when you go out there and you attack that defense, you're trying to kind of find new ways of attacking similar things, or find new ways of presenting the old things you've done before. You know, it's a mix of new stuff that we've never done before, mix of old stuff that we've done before differently. So you're trying to combine a whole bunch of different things, but it's really trying to take a holistic perspective of what's the best way to attack the defense.
When you look at your running backs, how much growth have you seen from them from, I guess, the start until now, getting comfortable with the offense, the roles you're asking them to do?
I think the growth for each guy has probably been different, because each guy had different things that they want to improve, but it's noticeable for each guy in their ability to attack what they're trying to improve on. So one guy might focus one day or 1 week on pass protection and some of those different things. One guy's trying to focus on his tempo on a certain run scheme. I think those guys, it kind of comes in pieces where it's not linear progression for those guys, all moving in the same direction, but you see each of those stack that progression day by day in those little areas. And overall, as a group, I think it's come together fairly nicely.